All right. This meeting is being live streamed. I'm trying this out. I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay. Dog's whining. Boxes in the back, still moving. Wanted to talk about a few things, though. I'll start with Arch Manning because I get asked about it every second, right? So I put out something yesterday that said Georgia leads for Arch Manning. This is the way it works. This is how visits go, right? This is the intel I get. He visited Georgia, loved it. Georgia was right up there with Texas. I think Alabama running third. Texas might have been slightly ahead, but again, back in December, Georgia was ahead. So this is very, fluid. He loves his visit to Georgia. He's going to Alabama this weekend, Texas after that. Texas needs to close him. That's it. They have a chance to do so. He's not locked into Georgia. I don't think he's going to Alabama. And they have a chance to close him out. They've led off and on in this battle for, Eli and Peyton's nephew for a very long time. Off and on, I say. Again, Georgia led for a short period of time. Texas, for the most part, has been pretty steady. Fell off a little bit when Quinn Ewers transferred, but not much. But they've been in there. And he loves Sark, and he loves what Sark did, obviously, with Mac Jones, Tua. Just Sark's done a good job with quarterbacks. Texas has not done a good job with quarterbacks overall. Georgia hasn't either. Alabama has. But is this Texas's battle still to win? Yes, they get the last visit and they can close them out. So I wouldn't freak out if I'm a Texas fan, but Georgia has a lot to offer, and the roadmap was very clear for him when it comes to success. So there's my Arch update. Do I know where he's going? No, I have no idea. This has changed, honestly, many, many times. The only places that have been mentioned that he was never going to, he's never going to Ole Miss. Sorry, Ole Miss fans, he just wasn't. He's never going to Florida, and he was never going to LSU. I think those were the ones mentioned the most that I heard. Clemson too. He was never going to Clemson. He didn't really like Clemson, South Carolina. He visited there. It was okay. He didn't get that great feel, that college town feel that he wanted. So it's always been pretty much, in my mind, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia, at least for a long time. So there's your Arch update. So why else am I on here? Well, let's talk about an article that was put up. A new writer of mine, Kyle Golick. I think he's a very, very talented individual. And he put up an article on 8 players who could impact the college football playoff race. It's on MikeFarrellSports.com now. And by the way, MikeFarrellSports.com and my podcasts are brought to you by RogueShop.com, ROGUE shop.com, for your CBD, THC. We're talking anxiety to pain, to sleeplessness, to just feeling good. This is the place to go. Use Godfather10 as your code. You'll get some money off. So go to RogueShop.com, please. They were there from day one of this venture. And I hope that they, get something out of it. So if you like me at all, go to them. And they sent me some stuff. It's amazing. It's really, really great. And I wouldn't promote anything that I haven't used. Brian Brzee, Clemson. Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State. Brandon Joseph, Notre Dame. Caleb Williams, USC. Bo Nix, Oregon. Interesting. Nolan Smith, Georgia. Tyler Steen, Alabama. And the Texas A&M quarterback carousel. So this article is extremely good. And some of these names, of course, Brian Brzee and Miles Murphy on that defensive line, definitely very important. But choosing him, over a DJ Uiagalelei or, Cade Klubnik or somebody else on the offense, Will Shipley, interesting, I think. Marvin Harrison Jr., okay? Now, everybody's focusing on Jackson Smith and Jigba. This kid's going to be amazing. Going to be absolutely amazing. And he's going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba to, I guess, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, if that makes any sense. He's going to be the number 2 guy and put up monster numbers, I think. Egbuka is also very good. Emeka Egbuka there. Brandon Joseph, Notre Dame. This is very interesting. I love Brandon Joseph. he's a transfer from Northwestern. Kyle Hamilton's gone. This is a huge, huge get for Notre Dame. He's a leader. First of all, he's going to help that back end exponentially. He's not as rangy as Kyle Hamilton is, but he's a little bit more physical. He can't do as many things as Hamilton, so he's not, that top 15 NFL draft pick at this point in time. But he's an extremely experienced player, very, very good. I got him in the second round as a grade right now at safety. And what I like about him is this. Okay, so I put out an article. I didn't write it. Tim Bailey, one of my writers, put out an article that Jackson Smith and Jigbo was the best player in college football. Now, I disagree. I think it's Will Anderson from Alabama, but a case could be made, certainly, right? Well, Brandon Joseph hits me up and says, just wait until week 1. He is so excited to go against that Ohio State offense. He's so excited to be at Notre Dame. Last year was rough at Northwestern, obviously. Bad season. Weren't playing for much. They're playing for a lot at Notre Dame. And you could tell that he's extremely excited about playing there. And I think he's going to be a leader on that defense immediately. Caleb Williams, Southern Cal, not a lot to say there. Obviously, he's going to be important to that offense and USC, any chance they have a win in the Pac-12. Bo Nix on this list. I don't know if he's going to win the job. He was good in spring ball. He has connections, obviously, to the new coaching staff and the offense, but Bo Nix is polarizing, man. I mean, he was the guy that sent Malik Willis packing through politics at Auburn, and he didn't live up to that 5-star hype we gave him. And now he's going to Oregon, and he's got to redeem himself a bit. And Oregon is going to be very, very good. A lot of talent there. A lot of returning talent. The defense should be nasty. But it really comes down to the quarterback. If he doesn't participate or play to the level that we expect him to play, first of all, he's not going to win the job. And secondly, Ty Thompson will replace him so fast. So Bo Nix start there at Oregon is going to be extremely important. Nolan Smith, replacing pass rusher, but also playing that role of, the rundown guy, chase down everything. I have Nolan Smith as a first rounder. I think he's an elite edge talent. I think he's right up there, shy of Will Anderson, but not so shy of Will Anderson. Physically, he's not as long, but he's as talented. Will Anderson is a superhero. Okay. So this guy is a superhero in a lesser group, Avengers versus find the lesser defenders. I don't know. I'm not a comic book geek. But Nolan Smith is going to be very important to that defense, and he's going to step it up this year. Tyler Steen, the transfer from Vanderbilt, Alabama left tackle, is going to be protecting Bryce Young. That's kind of important. Big shoes to fill, and he's going to fill them. And I think he's going to do well, and I think Alabama is going to win it all. And it's hard to convince me otherwise. Ohio State could win it all as well, but I really like Alabama with their balance. And then the Texas A&M quarterback carousel with Jimbo. If Jimbo can get a quarterback, last year's 8-4, there was a lot of quarterback issues, injuries and poor play, blah, blah, blah. Now you got Haynes King, Max Johnson, and Connor Wegman. I did in my 3-point stance today. I mentioned Connor Wegman as one of the 5 true freshman quarterbacks to watch next season. Kay Klubnik is another one that I already previously mentioned because he could play. Max Johnson is talented. He showed some signs of things at LSU. Haynes King is extremely talented, more mobile, but he got hurt. And Wegman is both talented and mobile, but young, very green. So it's going to be interesting to see if he could pick that up there. But I'm excited about Kyle joining the team as far as the articles are concerned. I'm also excited about Doug Phillips joining the team. Doug is doing, some look back stuff. And he looked back at the 2007 season. Okay. What a crazy year that was. If you don't remember it, Kansas was good. Boston College, the team I grew up on, was number 2 in the country at one point that season. And the BCS ended with Ohio State, LSU, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, Georgia, Missouri, USC, Kansas, West Virginia, and Hawaii as your top 10. Some of those teams, Missouri, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Kansas, Hawaii, those are not relevant programs anymore, at least on the big stage. So it was a very interesting year. I know it was 100 years ago, 15 years ago, but Ray, what he looks at is he looks at the number 4 team, right? Who would be number 4? Now, Oklahoma's number 4 in the BCS, but he's got Kansas as the number 4 team. And he's got USC at number 3 playing Oklahoma at number 2, and Ohio State, at number 1. It's a very interesting article. I really like these look back things. I like the what ifs. I've always wanted to do what ifs with what if Derrick Henry decided to stick with Georgia? And I'm going to start digging into that. The problem is there's so many moving pieces in recruiting. What if Johnny Manziel hadn't decommitted from Oregon? It's another one. Him and Marcus Mariota were in the same class. What if? There's so many moving pieces that the article is just, it's hard to be accurate because somebody always knows more than you. I'll be honest. If I talk about Derrick Henry going to Georgia and potentially, I can't remember, but maybe Nick Chubb not going to Georgia because of that, someone's going to have followed that recruitment, the Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb recruitment so carefully that I'm going to be made to look stupid because I'm covering 1,000 different recruitments. So I don't know the one little nugget and the one little piece here and that. It's very interesting. And I want to find someone who could boil down those particular situations. I don't think I'm the guy to do it. I could talk about Johnny Manziel staying at Oregon. He was the first commitment at quarterback, and then Marcus Mariota committed after that. What if Johnny Manziel and Marcus Mariota stayed on the same team? Blah, blah, blah. You would only have one Heisman winner, obviously. They're both Heisman winners. Manziel got offered by Texas A&M, won the Heisman there. Mariota played at Oregon, won the Heisman there. But somebody will come along and say, well, no, this is the situation, Mike. I followed this very closely. And then they'll come up with something about, well, Johnny Manziel probably would have started off on the scout team or redshirted, and Marcus Mariota would have done this, that, and the other, and both of them would have played and both of them would have won the Heisman back-to-back years. And I'm like, whatever. But I don't know. Maybe that's the case. I don't really know the depth chart at Oregon that deeply from that long ago. But I do find it fascinating to sort of look at the what ifs of the world. And that's what Doug's going to be doing. And it's pretty cool. Most popular article last week was Tim Bailey's Big Four in Florida. And the reason it was so popular is because everybody was pissed off that UCF was in the Big Four. Sorry, they kind of are. Just, it's not the big three anymore. Miami's been very average for a very, very long time. Florida State's been abysmally horrible the last few years. And Florida's been very average and up and down since Urban Meyer left. Will Muschamp, bad year is good year. McElwain, meh. On and on it goes. Dan Mullen, meh. UCF, pretty steady. That national title is garbage. They didn't win it. Bang, energy drink. And they don't even sponsor me. I don't know why I just said that. They should sponsor me. They didn't win a national title. I'm sorry, UCF fans. That's just garbage. It's made up stuff, right? Oh, you beat Auburn. Auburn beat Alabama. Whatever. You didn't. It's not official. You can put up a banner if you want. I could put up a banner saying I'm the most handsome man in America. You can just pop it right behind me here. It's not true. I just make it up. That's kind of what UCF's doing. And then, again, UCF fans probably be pissed, and luckily nobody watches this, so no one's going to get angry. But if they do, boo-hoo. Not my fault. You didn't win it, but you've been good. So Tim's grades are a little different than mine. He had the state of the Florida program. State of the Miami program at a B-. State of the Florida program as a C. That pissed off a lot of people. State of the Florida State program is a C-, and Central Florida is an A-. So I'll go a little different than him, and maybe I'll write a sort of rebuttal article that might be interesting. I honestly think Miami's in A situation. I'm not gonna say A+ or A-, just A. New athletic director, new head coach, competent head coach who can recruit his butt off. And I think finally, I've been doing this forever. When I started, the U was dominant. They used to kill. I remember covering the Butch Davis leaving for Cleveland right before signing day fallout. I remember Larry Coker getting hired. I remember all that garbage. I was around when Miami was great. And since I've watched them be very, 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 very average to below average, I think they're heading back to above average, potentially great. Florida, C's a little harsh. Okay. Now, Billy Napier is a first-time head coach. I get it. That's a question for me too. I don't know if he can hang. It's a very, very pressure-packed situation. Dan Mullen was everybody's favorite coach, leading his team to a touchdown away from winning the SEC. And then the next year, 6-7 games in, everybody wanted him fired. That's just how it is in Florida. You're living up to the standard of Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier, and it's hard to do. But I like Napier's approach. He came in, he lit a grenade. You don't light a grenade. You pull the pin in a grenade. You light a bomb. Let's say he lit a bomb. No, bomb's inappropriate these days. Grenade. Pulled the pin in a grenade, threw it, blew up everything. Blew up everything. New coaches, new administration, new recruiting outlook, new transfer portal strategy, knew this, knew that, and he had to do that. And I think that was what should have been done. Dan Mullen didn't do that. Jim McElwain didn't do that. Will Muschamp didn't do that. So I like the fact that he's starting over, but it's going to take him 3 years to be good, I think. Anthony Richardson's a fabulous talent. He's got to stay healthy. And a lot of things have to go really right for Florida to win the East. And that's going to take 2 or 3 years. But I'm going to give them a B. I think they're in an okay situation. I think his hire's less than a B, but I think the state of the program is a B. I should write these down. I have a pen. I don't even have a pen. Because if I write an article and I don't have the matchy match, A, B, that's pretty easy to remember, right? The Florida State, I'll give a C, just to keep it in my head easy. I won't do minuses or pluses. And I'm going to give UCF an A. So A, B, C, A. A, B, ABCA. And Florida State, the reason they're a C, listen, I know they stink. I know they've got a lot of work to do. I know Mike Norvell's probably not going to make it. But it's still Florida State. It's still a great program. Yes, they were set back by Jimbo mailing it in. Yes, they were set back by the hire of Willie Taggart. Yes, they're digging out of a hole, but they're also in the ACC. The ACC is not very good. And that's another reason why I have Miami so high. ACC is not very good. The path to the national championship is easier there than the SEC or the Big Ten. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to give them a C. Now they're still far off from being good, but C minus, little harsh to me. And then Central Florida, he gave him an A minus. So I'm going to give him an A. Gus Malzahn is doing a good job. He led Auburn to a national championship appearance. He's led Auburn to wins over Alabama. He's been in the battles of the SEC. He knows what it takes, and he's out of that pressure cooker. He's out of that horrible situation that is Auburn football, where they want you fired every year. And he's happier, and he's got talent to recruit, and he's headed to the Power Five. I think UCF's in a real good situation heading into the Big 12. That's my guess. But that article was really interesting, and it got a lot of people going because the UCF fans were crowing at Florida fans. We're better than you, blah, blah, blah. And we're the best program. And all the Power 3 fans, FSU, Miami, and Florida, saying you don't belong in the Power 4. It's not a Power 4. Well, you kind of do. And if you want them out of there, start winning. Miami, start winning. Florida State, start winning. Florida, start winning. Be consistent programs. Be what you used to be. Listen, I've covered this for a long time. Like I said, Butch Davis, right? That's the Miami that I'm looking for. Urban Meyer, that's the Florida that I'm looking for, right? Bobby Bowden, that's the team in Tallahassee, the Florida State that I'm looking for. Don't bring me these garbage teams that don't make bowl games. If you don't make a bowl game at Miami or Florida or Florida State, that's embarrassing. It's a joke. It's crazy. Speaking of which, and I'll segue in and then I'll finish this because I don't want this to be too long. 3-point stance today. I mentioned the quarterbacks, right? So I got Klubnik, Connor Wegman, Sam Horn at Missouri is another one to watch. AJ Duffy at Florida State, Drew Allar at Penn State. Check that article out, MikeFarrellSports.com. Okay. Predicting the quarterback statistical leaders as well. That's kind of interesting. Easiest jobs in college football. Or cushiest gigs. So I just mentioned, right? I just mentioned Florida, Florida State, and Miami. I've only got Miami in here. Quiet. I've only got Miami in here as an easy job because of the recruiting territory and because of, come here, bud. Come here. What are you whining for? Because of the recruiting territory, because of the ACC. Now, I don't have Florida State in here. I think Miami is an easier job. And I don't have Florida in here because of the SEC. But I do have USC and Texas. There's no excuse for them losing. Oklahoma and Alabama have done good. Georgia's done well as well, and they should never lose. Ohio State, same thing. Michigan, you should never lose either. Oregon, LSU are the other two. So I got my top 10 there. Right, bud? Wish you could see him. He's just adjusting to the new house. So again, go to MikeFarrellSports.com, please. Check out the articles. I think the content's really good. There's updates, of course, on everything that Arch does. There's constant college football articles. We're going to be heading into heavier recruiting coverage. We're also going to be starting into rankings and predictions on where kids are going and stuff like that. I'll have an article up by the time you see this on my 10 surefire 5 stars for 2023. I'm hoping to do rankings for 2023 class by August. It's a little slower because I'm a one-man band, but I like it that way. Then that way I don't have to like try to please anybody else with their opinions. And, I could just say, this is what I like and this is what I feel, and period. Nobody else to answer to, nobody else to acquiesce to, nobody else to worry about hurt feelings. So that's where I'm at. M Farrell Sports at Twitter, at Farrell Promo on Twitter. If you're a recruit, the father of a recruit, the mother of a recruit, a coach of a recruit, if he's a young prodigy, an 8th grader who wants to get an early head start on promotion, or if he's a 2023, 2024, sophomore, junior in high school, who hasn't quite yet reached what he needs to reach to get even FCS scholarship / financial aid, FBS scholarships. If he wants to get to an FCS school, which is now the minor leagues for FBS, it's more important than ever, these FCS scholarships, because you do well there, you can transfer portal your way up. And everybody's looking at the FCS, trust me, when it comes to these FBS programs and Power 5 programs. If you're not getting enough attention, follow Farrell Promo. We have packages. I teamed up with Coach Dave Schumann, who's been in the industry for 20 plus years, like myself. He's run camps, coached high school football. He was a player agent. We know how to market and promote kids, but we're going to promote you to the level you're at, because you do not want to find a bad fit. You do not want to oversell. And by oversell means collect offers, go to the biggest Power 5 program you can go to, and then sit your butt on the bench and never play and transfer out down to the level you should be at in the first place. If you're an Appalachian State player, that's where you should go. You may get that North Carolina offer or something that you really wanted, but if you're not at that level, it's no point. Start where you belong, then progress up, but don't start too high. And that's, we're not giving advice, but I'm telling you that if we do promote you, we're going to promote you to the level of your ability. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell every kid, oh my gosh, you're Alabama level. You're not. Very few kids are. But that's Farrell Promo. You can follow that. At Farrell Portal, we're covering the transfer portal. Things are slowing down a little bit, obviously. It's going to speed up as we reach that 4-game into the 2022 season, where kids have to make a decision on whether they want to waste a year or collect a redshirt year, whether they want to transfer out or not. But it's busy year round. I mean, kids are entering the portal on a daily basis. Kids are committing on a daily basis. I'm working on some articles on, the best available in the portal, as well as who's committed in the portal. So it's 2 different things. What's the best running back commitment in the portal, or who's the best running back left in the portal? All that stuff you can find at Farrell Portal. Instagram is M Farrell Sports as well. TikTok, I haven't figured it out yet. I put stuff up there, but nobody likes it. I got 17,000 followers on there, so that's pretty good. But I think it's Mike Farrell Sports over there. I don't think I've switched it yet, but you can find me easy enough if you want to. Just look for the Godfather logo. And Mike Farrell Sports, I think it's Mike Farrell Sports. Yeah, on Facebook. Been on there forever. I only got 5,000 people, 5.1K, but I put a lot of stuff on there, so I think that's going to grow as well. So listen, I love you. I appreciate y'all. There's one person watching. Let's see who it was. Hold on. I don't even know if this is streaming. But again, it says it is. So I'm live on YouTube. Whoop-de-doo. But thanks for watching. I love the boxes in the background. And the light is not even set up in the right place. And there's Gatorade and dog food back there and a step ladder. So professional. And I'm wearing like golf and Under Armour attire with some non-brand shades. I'm a mess, but I'm having fun. Follow me. Go to the website, please.